Linus of the comic strip Peanuts is reading a book to Lucy. It says here that the world revolves around the sun once a year. Lucy replies, "The world revolves around the sun? Are you sure? I thought it revolved around me." Lucy is often the poster girl for a self-indulgent philosophy. I'm sure we've all met those people who, from our perspective, behave like the world revolves around them. But in all the stories of Jesus, we see the one whom the world does revolve around, giving himself in the service of others. The King of Kings and Lord of Lords came to feed the hungry, heal the sick, restore the broken, and free the enslaved. He came to serve others, and to serve others without discrimination, whether they deserved it or not. God came as the servant king. The originator of all life came, knelt, and served. The image of Jesus wrapping a towel around his waist, pouring water into the basin and washing his disciples' feet at the Last Supper, epitomizes the servant heart of God. In the mess of sweaty, smelly feet, Jesus showed not just humility, but also holiness, and he charged us to do the same. As Jesus gathered with his disciples, he called his followers to be like him, not by isolating themselves in a holy huddle, but through serving in the mess of this world. As Reverend Dean Cinder writes, "You cannot be holy except as you are engaged in making the world a better place. You do not become holy by keeping yourself pure and clean from the world, but by plunging into ministry on behalf of the world's hurting ones." Dear Lord, do not make us like porridge, which is difficult to stir and slow to serve, but more like cornflakes, crisp, fresh, and ready to serve. This Camp Grace from the Boys Brigade is a great picture of what it means to follow Jesus' example of servanthood. Serving is not always dignified. As Jesus washed his disciples' feet, he was washing off the muck and the mud. He was doing the job of a servant, because that is what he came to do. An incredible display of humility as God in human form got involved in the mess. And today we too are called to get involved in the mess. It is said, most people wish to serve God, but only in an advisory capacity. We are not here to dictate orders from a distance, but to be the ones who wash dirty feet, listen to broken people's dreams, and feed hungry stomachs. Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's Hamburgers, is the only founder among America's big companies whose picture in the corporate annual reports shows him wielding a mop and a plastic bucket. That wasn't a gag either. It was done intentionally so that he could lead by example. At Wendy's, an MBA does not mean a Master of Business Administration. It means mop bucket attitude. This attitude of servanthood is so influential on the people around us. What we do in serving is only part of the call. It is how we serve that really honours and worships God. Serving like Jesus isn't about begrudgingly offering a token gesture because we feel we ought to. It is about graciously offering something of ourselves to others in response to what God has offered us. It is about serving with a smile. When you visit a restaurant, as the customer, you should be the waiter's priority. Serving is about making those we serve the priority. It's about putting aside our preferences and our comfort to meet the need of others. Waiters aren't waiters without customers. Servants aren't servants without people to serve. Archbishop William Temple proclaimed, "The Church is the only society that exists for the benefit of those who are not its members." We are here as a church in this community, not to give us something to do on a Sunday morning, not to find friends to have a cup of tea with, not just to feel good. We are here to serve. I recognise today that you may be thinking, but I'm too old, young, poorly, busy, tired, or inconsequential to serve. You may be thinking, what can I do? Serving is about thinking of others first. That is something that every one of us can do. For some of you, that service will involve very practically meeting the needs of our world. This could be through leading a community activity at our church. It could be through getting involved with the modern slavery work of the Salvation Army. It could be through offering hospitality to others. It could be through offering companionship to a lonely neighbour. It could be so much more. Today you may feel that these things are not practical for you, but there are none of us who can do nothing to serve others. All of us can pray for others. All of us can offer words of encouragement. All of us can smile and offer an open heart. All of us can look outwards rather than inwards. The world is crying out for an experience of love which thinks of others first. All of us can offer that. As Martin Luther King said, anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. The Salvation Army's new course, designed for people exploring soldiership, is entitled To Serve. The course is designed to call and equip the next generation of soldiers to live out the mission and message of the Salvation Army. It aims to raise up soldiers motivated by the Christian faith, inspired by history and dedicated to changing the world with limitless love and innovative, audacious service to God and to others. However old or young we are, whether we are a soldier, adherent or friend, that is our calling. Audacious service isn't always about massive lifestyle changes and dramatic acts of sacrifice. Audacious service is recognising that we cannot do great things, but we can do small things with great love, as Mother Teresa said. To offer a meal, to hold out your hand, to come alongside, to offer a prayer, is all to serve. It is through kneeling in front of our neighbour to serve them that we truly serve God. To serve those whose company we enjoy and who we see eye to eye with is one thing. To serve those who we struggle with and with whom we fundamentally disagree adds a totally new dimension. Think for a moment. Jesus goes into the room with his disciples for his Last Supper. He knows he is going to be betrayed. He knows it is Judas who will turn against him. He knows that he has been sold out for a handful of silver, stabbed in the back by one he has poured his life into. Yet in that room, hours before the death of Jesus, Judas ate too. Jesus fed Judas too. Jesus prayed for Judas too. Jesus washed Judas's feet too. How can we fathom that kind of love? A love that would feed the mouth that betrayed you. A love that would wash the treasonous feet of the traitor. A love that could forgive even the vilest of betrayals. I struggle to comprehend that. But then suddenly I realised that I'm Judas. And in that moment, I am thankful and overwhelmed that still Judas ate, and still Jesus washed his feet. Jesus' whole life served others without discrimination. And that includes you and me. Who are we to deny our service to those who we don't get on with, don't deem worthy, or quite frankly don't like? Who are we to decide who is worthy of God's love? Because ultimately, if we are worthy, then so is every other person on this earth. I want to close today with words from monk and theologian Thomas Merton. Our job is to love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they are worthy. That is not our business, and in fact, it is nobody's business. What we are asked to do is to love, and this love itself will render both ourselves and our neighbours worthy. How is God calling you to serve others without discrimination today? God bless you.